Assalamu alaikum madada na makaka, wazee kwa vijana.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pusha Paul and my show is Youth and Politics. So today, just as we talked about Moses Masika Wetangula last week, this week I'm going to talk about William Samoei Ruto. So I'll be talking about the wheelbarrow thing. I'll also mention about the wrangles in Jubilee party. I'll also talk about his 2022 political hit, and last I'll talk about his political history or journey, or just his background in general, just as I did say that I'll be wrapping up or just talking about our political leaders so that you can know who stands for what. And so without wasting time, welcome back to this channel. If you've not subscribed, please make an effort of subscribing, and also please like the video, also share. Your comments are highly welcome. Now, they say that mtu jikuna pale ambapo mkono wake hufikia. So, and I always raise a question: if I can donate a cup to an individual, why can't you donate a plate to that individual? If I can give that individual 1 shilling, why can't you give that individual 10 shillings? Okay, it might seem that I'm coming from a different angle, but let me just hit straight to the point. So this week, we've been hearing about the wheelbarrow thing, mkokoteni thing, and motorbike thing, about the deputy president. I am in for it. For instance, let me just take you as an example. You have money, you can help someone. Then someone comes in, this person is a mkokoteni dealer, or he hustles using a mkokoteni, or in English you call it carts. Then he or she comes to you and says, hey, Bwana so and so or Miss so and so, I've been doing my hustle with the mkokoteni, but recently it has broken down. Can you support me by getting another one? Or what can you do? Then, due to my mercy, my love for people, or due to your love and mercy for people, you decide to give this person a mkokoteni. And now, but you don't focus only to this person, because you might think that you are focusing on helping just a few individuals. You decide to give almost each and everyone the same thing. You call people, now you give other people, you call for people who want mkokotenis, you call people who want wheelbarrows, motorbikes, tuk-tuks. They all come. Then you offer them. So when other people are running up and down saying that the deputy president has done wrong to give people wheelbarrows, he has undermined the youth, that is totally foolish. It is wrong. If at all my hustle depends on a wheelbarrow, and I am given a wheelbarrow, it means that I am totally satisfied with what I have been given. We have no in between at this. So, if I hustle by a Uber and I seek someone who can give me a Uber, will you start saying that I could have given this person a bus or a minibus or a matatu, yet he or she came to me saying that he or she wants a Uber, a 4-seater or even 3-seater car? So once you complain, you should also bring forward or bring on the table what you really want to give the Kenyan citizens. You cannot run up and down condemning Ruto for giving our youth wheelbarrows. The youth have not complained. We've not had anyone, even those who are opposing the deputy president, have not come out to say that we are condemning the action or the act that was done by the deputy president. No one, and I repeat, absolutely no one has done that. And just to be realistic, supporting each and every person's hustle is a good initiative. And I would like to correct one thing here to make statements clear. I heard Mr. Tuli saying that hustler is a bad name. Of course, he based the name in an English scenario or in the English context. But with the DP, the Deputy President, the name hustler is a Sheng name, meaning a word that represents what you do. If you are a hairdresser, if you are a barber, mama mboga, boda rider, you can name them. That is your hustle. We did not base on English definition, nor did we want someone to define this for us. So the rate at which you are manipulating whatever the Deputy President does, that is wrong. It means that you have no agenda to sell to the Kenyan citizens other than selling and marketing the Deputy President. So right now, even if you ask a very young child about the wheelbarrow thing, they tell you, oh, they know that because they've heard you saying that Ruto has given people wheelbarrows, of which they take it as a good initiative. They take it as they take it positively. And I don't see any problem with that. If you are seeing a problem with that, then you are the problem. But first of all, again, we must realize that as human beings, we have limits. If I give you a mkokoteni, if I give you a wheelbarrow, of course I was in Gikomba or what, and Mudurwa. The cost of hiring a mkokoteni is 100 shillings. I don't know is it per day or half a day. And the cost of hiring a wheelbarrow is 70 shillings again per day. So if you get someone who can give you a mkokoteni, who can give you a wheelbarrow, how will you feel? How happy will you be? How blessed will you be? Because it will help you. It will save you the 70 shillings, the 100 shillings, the 200 shillings you've been hiring a mkokoteni or a wheelbarrow to do your hustle. And of course, as many people are condemning the mkokoteni thing, I can give you an example. I have a friend of mine who operates a mkokoteni in Gikomba. And this person fetches bales, this cloth, from one point to another. And he charges 50 shillings per bale. And he carries at least 20 bales for one trip. So if at all it is 50 shillings and then you are carrying 20 bales per trip, that means you have 1,000 shillings per trip. And then this person makes 4 trips per day, that is 4,000. And it is his money. The mkokoteni doesn't need fuel. It only needs manpower, of which he told me he only takes lunch of 200 shillings. So this man goes home with 3,800 shillings in his pocket. Then you are despising, you are diminishing the hustle of a mkokoteni person, the hustle of a wheelbarrow person. And this person, mind you, he has his own rental houses. He's a landlord and nobody can know that. I just popped in him. We just met accidentally, we had an interaction. I cannot disclose his name, but I know. You go there, you'll meet these people. You can have one-on-one conversations and you'll know what I'm telling you is only but the truth. Back to a boda person. For you to hire a boda, for you to hire a motorbike, you have to pay 500 shillings per day to the owner of that motorbike. And with a tuk-tuk, you have to pay 1,200 shillings to the owner of that tuk-tuk. If someone somewhere is willing to give you a tuk-tuk, to give you a motorbike, that will not be paying any shilling per day, why can't you appreciate? And if you feel that this is small, why can't you bring a bigger thing for them? If I brought a motorbike, can you bring a car? If I brought a car, can you bring a matatu? If I brought a matatu, can you bring a bus? If I brought a bus, bring a lorry. If I brought a lorry, bring an aeroplane. Let the ladder continue going without despising and diminishing other people's hustles. I felt very bad saying that Kenya wheelbarrows were used back then. I can assure you that wheelbarrows are being used. I know these people work in CBD. You go there, you will see how those trolleys, those wheelbarrows are doing massive jobs, are doing very wonderful jobs, fetching a luggage that belongs to people. Of course, when I come from my rural area, my luggage is always carried on that trolley, is carried on a wheelbarrow. And before the era of wheelbarrows came in, these people used to carry this luggage on their shoulders, which was very expensive, which was also tiresome. And trolleys and wheelbarrows, mkokotenis have made work easier. So I don't see any reason whatsoever as per why other political leaders should condemn the deputy president for doing what he is doing. Now, also back to what the deputy president does about raising of money or funds in churches and other places. And I've said earlier, the deputy president has chicken. He has animals on his farm, so he generates income. He has more than 1.5 million chickens, and they lay eggs per every day. So when you ask where this source of money is coming from, it is coming from his business. Let me just take you back. I don't know, is it last year when you changed the currency to the current new notes or new currency? You are doing this because you anticipated, or you said that the deputy president had hidden some liquid money in his house, or in some of his parastatals, or some of his relatives had liquid money. So you wanted to do away with it. Only to realize that he is still giving the same amount even after changing the currency. So it means that it is a high time that these politicians stop fighting a losing battle and back up the deputy president for his ambitions. You should change your tactics. And if this is the way you are fighting the deputy president, then there is much that meets the eye. Because you cannot tell me that the deputy president cannot give that amount of money to his people, to the church. He was raised in poverty, and when God uplifted him, he knows the importance of giving. He knows the importance of lacking. He knows the effects of sleeping on an empty stomach. He knows the effects of losing or not having a hustle or a job. Having a chicken seller, he understands how you can generate income from these small businesses. So whoever condemns whatever the deputy president is contributing should come out clean and show us and give us or give more. If the deputy president is giving 1 million, then bring in 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, or even just say that I volunteered to pay for the construction of this church. It will be the best thing ever. So the deputy president is just at the heart of the people. He knows the needs. He knows what people want. And first of all, let me go back again. On manifestos, people are saying that instead the deputy president has failed in fulfilling his manifestos. Between the deputy president and the president himself, who is supposed to fulfill his manifestos? The deputy president was just a spokesperson by then of the president. He was the campaign manager by then. In most cases, he was speaking what the Jubilee government will do. He is in the Jubilee government, but there is a head of that Jubilee government. There is a chairperson of that Jubilee government. So if at all you are complaining that the deputy president has not fulfilled whatever he gave to Kenyans, then you are wrong. You are supposed to say that the president has not fulfilled his needs to the people. It is a presidency combined, the president and the deputy president. Therefore, you cannot blame the deputy president on his own. You have to blame the two people combined. So, there are no shortcuts here. There are no in-betweens here. You just call a spade and not a big spoon. It is my wish that we come and realize how our brains are being washed. We are being greenwashed here. Leave alone brainwashed. We are being greenwashed by other political opposers, by other political oppressors who think that Kenyans are still foolish. And I've said, Kenya is not short of stupid people. Kenya is short of leaders of integrity. Leaders who should be thinking of the interests of a common mwananchi. And I repeat, Kenya haina upungufu wa wajinga. Kila mtu amejenjaruka. Kila mtu amejenjaruka. And I say and I repeat, we've woken up. We realize. Long time ago you used to tell us because so and so said, we are going to follow it. Right now, it is not business as usual. You have to follow your manifesto, whatever you say and whatever you fulfill to us. We've seen projects being initiated by the deputy president. I can account for them, a few. Can other opposers come up with their own projects and tell us this is what I've done? Instead of fighting the deputy president on grounds that don't matter. On grounds that have no evidence. So fighting the president saying that he is insulting Kenyans by using the word hustler. How does it support your agendas? How does it support by asking someone to bring your phone and then you Google the name hustler? How does it support a common mwananchi? How does Googling the name hustler in front of a press, in front of a media, how does it help put food on the table of a common mwananchi? How does it put food on a table of that mwananchi in Kibera, in Changamwe, in Turukana, in Kangemi, in Kawagware, in Mukurukwa, Ruben Mukurukwa, Njenga? You can name all those places where people are dying of hunger. What does a tourist Googling the name hustler help a common mwananchi? By knowing the definition, how does it help? Or what did he do after knowing the definition? Other than fighting the deputy president. Of course, Atwoli has failed Kenyan workers. More than 2 million people have lost jobs, and yet Mr. Atwoli has engaged in political matters and forgotten all about Kenyan workers. Anyway, I was to talk about the deputy president, but this came along because you also commented on the hustler title. And the hustler title has caused stomachache, headaches in Ruto's opposers, in the government. Everybody is singing about hustler. I was in the village last week, in my home county, Embu, and people were singing of hustler, hustler, hustler. So this thing is not going to stop anytime soon, even if you tried, unless you assassinate the deputy president. Now, let's look at the wrangles in Jubilee party. We can all see that chama hakijaunganika. Walio kwenye chama hawana umoja. Na vile tulisema ama tuliambiwa na wahenga ambao siwajui ama sijui walikuwa wameketi wapi waliposema umoja ni nguvu, utengano ni udhaifu. Na ni kweli. Sababu wakati chama cha Jubilee kimeleta mtafaruku, kutoelewana, tumeanza kuona furugu. Amani haipo tena. And of course I say, those who are fighting the deputy president don't know the pain of being voted for. Akina Tuju, akina Murathe, Those people have never been voted, have never been elected in any seat. They have just been being appointed. Tuju has just been being appointed or nominated as a CS, a minister, or what, a secretary general of the party. He has never been elected. So he doesn't know the pain of an election. That moment when he realizes the pain of an election, he will know the importance of being a leader. And I said to Murathe, I give you a challenge. Vie for any position. Vie for any position. And if you are voted in, I'll pull out this video from YouTube. That's when you will realize the pain of campaigning. So you cannot just come in the party as a vice chair and then you say that, oh, you can just dismiss anybody from the party or remove anybody from the party on certain matters, that on certain grounds that even don't matter. Oh no, this is not how things ought to be going. There's a better way. Was it not for these political leaders, for Ruto, for Uhuru Kenyatta, and other elected leaders, Murathe and Tuju couldn't be the secretary and vice president respectively of this political party? They ought to respect the elected members of those political parties. They don't have to go on vomiting on people's shoes. They don't have to go on exposing their ill-rotted minds. Oh no, let me not go to that extent. But of course, we Kenyans are seeing that or have that anticipation that the deputy president and the president are not in good terms. The president has not come out and said, I have a problem with the deputy president. Nor has the deputy president said that I have the problem with my president. It is just we Kenyans who are anticipating whatever we are seeing. The president can make his remarks. We've been making remarks against our friends, but we've not used those remarks to say that we are no longer friends with our friends. So the issue of we Kenyans or other political leaders using the current situation to say that the president and the deputy president are not in good terms is outdated. Unless the president comes in and says, I am not in good terms with the deputy president, then we shall realize, of course, the president and the deputy president are not in good terms. Now, I've read the Standard this morning, and it is a shock to say that the DP is holding meetings in his current home and the people don't observe social distancing or don't have masks. This is the time you are seeing this. Is it the only time you are seeing that these leaders don't wear masks and don't keep social distance? How easily do you forget the people of media? Right now the covers slowed down. But you don't remember when actually in the midst of COVID-19, when cases were high, we are reporting 500 and 800 cases per day, Atwoli held a meeting in his Kajiado home without social distancing and people had no mask, including Atwoli himself. Why do you want to say that you want to stop Ruto's rallies and everything? Because the deputy president doesn't observe social distancing. It is a high time we realize that the law should not apply to a few people. The law should apply to each and every Kenyan, provided you are a Kenyan, provided you are in Kenya, we should be equal before the law. So the question is, when Atwoli held several meetings, not even one, in Kajiado, at a point when COVID-19 was at its worst, did the leaders observe social distance? Did they even wear masks? So, stop treating other people as victims. Stop treating the deputy president as a victim of circumstance. Stop mistreating the deputy president because he doesn't support the agenda of misleading Kenyans, because he doesn't support BBI that is overburdening the Kenyans. Don't mislead, don't mistreat the deputy president. Of course, and as I said for Wetangula, there are also wrangles in that party, there are also wrangles in Jubilee party. But saying that we're supposed to stop Ruto's ambitions, and this person who was not disclosed by the Standard says that they'll use the ground that the deputy president doesn't observe social distancing when he holds gatherings or meetings in his current home. Then can you review and revisit the case? In that case of Atwoli, where he held at least 3 meetings in his home without people maintaining social distance and wearing masks. And they were in a press, they were in the media, we saw them. Photos are all over, videos are all over. These people never maintained social distance. So, we have to maintain. We have to preach what we really mean. If we really want peace in this country, start by uniting everybody. Now, there's this headline here. I don't know. Raila allies push to impeach Ruto. This is Standard. How many times have we had this statement from? How many times have we had this from James Orengo? This is not the first time. And for you to impeach the deputy president, you need 2/3 of the National Assembly's representatives, of which I guess if they have, then let Orengo go ahead with it. The impeachment cannot be political. Of course, we've said the impeachment of the deputy president or any other person can never be political. And thus saying that you will impeach the deputy president because he has failed to advise the president makes no sense at all. The president has his own advisors. He has a committee of 10 people who advises him. He has a council of elders who advises him. He has other political leaders. He has Raila. Raila has said that he is just advising the president. So why does Orengo come out and say that he wants to impeach the president because he has failed to advise the president? Now, this raises a question. So, Ruto has failed to advise the president. Does it mean that Raila is misadvising the president? Is that what it means? And that's why they want the deputy president to advise the president on some grounds, because the president is being misled. If that is the case, then I advocate for impeachment of the deputy president. But if at all you are saying because Raila is advising the president in the right way and the deputy president is not advising him, you are wrong, my friends. Your impeachment is dead on arrival. Impeaching the deputy president for gross misconduct is also another joke of the highest order. It is neither outlined in the Kenya 2010 Constitution. Find other grounds on which you can impeach the deputy president, but on this you cannot. I stand firm to say you cannot impeach the deputy president on these grounds. And so, I have to tell you that the deputy president, as far as is concerned, is not easy to be impeached. It's not an easy task. You cannot just wake up in the morning and say you want to impeach the deputy president. It's not as easy as some people think. And it pains a lot to hear that some laws are being served selectively. That if you are supporting the government, you are safe. If you are not supporting the government, you are doomed. We are out of that era. We are in a new era. So, in Kenya, there are two things involved. You are either in Jubilee or in NASA. And if you are in NASA, you are safe. But if you are in Jubilee, there are two things involved. You are either corrupt or a thief. If you are corrupt, you are a thief, you are safe. If you are corrupt, there are two things involved. You are either a suspect or a whistleblower. If you are a whistleblower, then you are safe. But if you are a suspect in Kenya, then you are a criminal. And that's what the government is trying to prove. Anytime you support the deputy president, they must look for mistakes. They must find a case to make sure you are arraigned in court. Petty cases to make sure you are arraigned in court. Therefore, the issue of Raila saying that he's trying to unite Kenyans, I think to some extent doesn't make sense at all. Not to me, but to the entire Republic of Kenya. So if Raila says that he is uniting Kenyans, it is an ironical thing, of course. Like, how is it even possible to unite Kenyans yet other people are left aside? You cannot unite this one side and leave the other side. So for Raila Amolo Odinga to be truly uniting the Kenya, we know he must involve all the parties Ruto involved, and in fact, Ruto must be on the front line in his uniting agenda. So, I don't know which Kenyans is trying to unite. He's going a divide in this country. He's the result of the Hustler nation, of the Hustler versus dynasty. It is high time either they come up with the dynasty movement as the deputy president, as the Hustler movement, or forever they keep quiet and stop threatening the deputy president. That having been said, the 2022 Ruto's political race, I can see, is undimmed, unstoppable, because this guy is making roots, is making his own moves. He has garnered so many people, he has garnered so many youth, that youth have been left out, but the deputy president has proven it that it is possible to work with the youth. I said, Uhuru appointed elderly men to work in his government. The deputy president is selecting the young generation, and I've said, this is youth and politics. If I see youth being elected or selected in those positions, youth being close to the deputy president, you can see the way the deputy president is free with the people. You can go ahead, you can shake his hand. Why can't other leaders do the same? They don't even shake the hand of a common mwananchi down there. They can't even shake a hand of a mamamboga. They can't even shake a hands of that chapati person there or muuza mandazi. They cannot. Sasa Ruto ameshika vijana, na hiyo ndio safari tunataka ya kwamba 2022 tuwe na vijana katika serikali. Nami nawasihi vijana, if any leader is in support of our agenda, if any leader is in support of our own political agendas as youth, then we can go for that leader. But if a leader diminishes, despises us as a youthful generation, then we cannot whatsoever support his political ambition. But for us to be on the safer side, we must ensure we are following politicians who have interest, who have keen interest of us, who have interest of knowing what we know or knowing what we want. Not leaders who treat us as a vulnerable group of people. The president has treated youth as a vulnerable group of people. We have, this morning I've just been checking, according to the UN statistics, the Kenyan youth, or the population of Kenya, 20% of it is of youth. We are 9.5 million youth in this country. If we all unite, with even leaders who support our own interests, then in the next government, we can raise a leader, we can raise a deputy president, we can raise a minister, we can have several cabinet secretaries, we can have several governors, we can have several MCAs, we can have several senators, we can have several MPs, several women reps. Name them, all of them. If at all, we all unite. 9.5 million Kenyans or youth in Kenya isn't a joke. Kenya is a youthful country, but the rate at which politicians have neglected the interest of a common youth here is alarming. In the parliament, youth are treated as a vulnerable group of people. We have two youth representing our interests. We need youth to take those political positions with the help of our political leaders who are in government. That having been said, I can advise you, but I'll never choose for you. The choice lies in your hand. The choice is in your head, in your eyes. You've seen, you've heard, you've dreamt of it. So, put it in practice. Now, let me talk about the history of the deputy president. I remember last week I talked about the history of Moses Masika Wetangula. So today, as I wind up, let me briefly talk about the history of William Samoei Ruto. William Kipchirchir Samoei Arap Ruto was born on 21st December 1966 and is a Kenyan politician and the deputy president of Kenya since 2013. He served as the acting president of Kenya between 6th and 8th October 2014 when President Uhuru Kenyatta was at The Hague. He previously served in various ministerial positions, including the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Ministry of Agriculture, and the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. He was the Secretary General of KANU, the former ruling political party, and the MP for Eldoret North constituency between December 1997 and January 2013. So, you can guess, from a minister to a Secretary General, then to an MP, then from an MP all the way to a Deputy President. Oh wow. He won the seat. He won the seat in the year 1997 Kenyan election after defeating Ruben Chesiren. He was appointed to the position of Assistant Minister in the office of the President by President Daniel Arap Moi in 1998. He was promoted to be Minister for Home Affairs in August 2002. Ruto has also previously served as the chairperson of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Constitutional Reform in the 9th Parliament. On 4th March, he became the first Deputy President of Kenya when he and Uhuru Kenyatta were declared winners of the 2013 Kenyan general election. The duo ran on a Jubilee Alliance ticket. The Jubilee Alliance was a coalition of his United Republican Party (URP) and Kenyatta's the National Alliance (TNA). Ruto was among the list of people who were indicated to stand trial at the International Criminal Court (ICC) for their involvement in Kenya's 2007-2008 political violence. However, the ICC case was faced with challenges, especially concerning withdrawal of key prosecution witnesses. In April 2016, the International Criminal Court dropped the charges against Ruto. In August 2017, Kenyan general election, Uhuru and Ruto were declared victors of the election, garnering 54% of the total votes cast. However, the Supreme Court of Kenya nullified the election and a fresh election was held in October 2017. The opposition boycotted the fresh election and Uhuru and Ruto were re-elected with 98% of the total votes cast. The Supreme Court upheld the results of this second election. In December 2018, Ruto graduated from the University of Nairobi with a PhD in plant ecology. His thesis was Influence of Human Activities on Land Use and Changes on Environmental Quality of Riparian Ecosystem, a case study of Saiwa Swamp Watershed, Western Kenya. Ruto began his political career by vying for various KANU, the then ruling party, branch party positions. Through his church activities, he met his future mentor, President Daniel Arap Moi, and helped to found a lobby group, Youth for KANU 92. The group that was formed to drum up support to President Daniel Moi in the 1992 election. Youth for KANU 1992 was inspired by UK Labour youth leaders and the youth wing of the Indian National Congress in its mobilization efforts for Moi's re-election. However, it became notorious for hooliganism, orchestrating ethnic violence and dishing out billions of Kenyan shillings in the campaign. Claims that the group continues to refute. After the 1992 elections, President Moi disbanded Youth for KANU 1992. Ruto, however, would go ahead to compete for a parliamentary seat at the 1997 Kenya general election. He surprisingly beat the incumbent Ruben Chesiren, who was the establishment and Moi's preferred candidate, as well as was Nigishu KANU branch chairman and assistant minister. After this, he would later gain favor with Moi and be appointed KANU director of elections. His strong support in 2002 for Moi's preferred successor Uhuru Kenyatta saw him get an appointment as assistant minister in the Home Affairs Interior Ministry docket. Later in that election, as some government ministers resigned to join the opposition, he would be promoted to be the full cabinet minister in the ministry. KANU lost the election, but he retained his parliamentary seat. Ruto would thereafter be elected KANU Secretary General in 2005, with Uhuru Kenyatta getting elected as chairman. On 21st April 2010, Ruto was transferred from the Agriculture Ministry and posted to the Higher Education Ministry, swapping posts with Sally Kosgei. On 24th August 2011, Ruto was relieved of his ministerial duties and remaining a member of parliament, he joined with Uhuru Kenyatta to form the Jubilee Alliance for the 2013 presidential election. On 6th October 2014, Ruto was appointed acting president of Kenya by President Uhuru Kenyatta following his summons to appear before the ICC. It is believed he will run for the presidency in 2022. And we have seen that, and it is true that the deputy president will be vying. Now, Ruto has faced various allegations of corruption and land grabbing. His erstwhile ally turned bitter nemesis Raila Odinga has accused him of corruption, questioning the sources of the funds he dishes out at fundraisers on a regular basis. And I've said, Ruto owns a chicken farm. He owns shares in Amaco, so he has a lot of money. So several of his allies and aides have also been forced to resign amid corruption scandals. He has also faced accusations of grabbing land from a primary school in Nairobi and land meant for a sewerage treatment plant in Ruai, Nairobi. Ruto has denied these allegations and stated that because he was born poor and has risen to wealth and the top levels of government despite not being part of any Kenyan dynasty, President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga are the children of Jomo Kenyatta and Oginga Odinga, Kenya's first president and vice president. Lastly, let me talk about the assassination attempt. On July 28, 2017, Ruto's home in Sugoi village near Eldoret was targeted by at least one attacker armed with machete, and a police officer guarding the resident was injured during the attack. During the time of the attack, he and his family were not at the compound as he had left hours earlier for a campaign rally in Kitale. There were also reports of gunfire, and several security sources said the attack was staged by multiple people using guns. Police also thought there are a few attackers initially because the attacker used different firearms. Several hours later, on 30th July, Kenya Police Chief Joseph Boynet announced that the attacker was shot dead and the situation was under control. So the deputy president has served in various positions. The deputy president has proven that he can work. All the allegations that follow the deputy president are null and void because they are political, and as politicians know, or as politicians do, they like destroying the name of each other, and that is not natural. So we Kenyans should not follow what politicians are doing, whatever they are doing to tarnish other people's names. So guys, thank you for listening, and this comes to the end of this show. Thank you guys for watching, and please make sure you subscribe.